Greetings, free thinkers. Welcome to the Hoggcast. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing fine. I certainly am. Okay, what do we have for you on today's episode? We have for you two clips to watch. This one here, which is a teacher who is saying that in her, in her locality, they are giving the power back to put face coverings on to students in the class, back to this woman here and her colleagues and the like. Now, the reason why I'm showing you the clip is because she's overjoyed by this, and you have to question their motives. Why someone would be so happy to do such a thing, okay? Especially in the face of the science, which is what we always seem to hear. The people use this phrase, the science, but only when it suits them. They don't seem to have any uniformity or solid principles where they will apply it evenly, only when they benefit themselves. That being said, I'm not a doctor, I'm not giving you medical advice, I'm not doing anything like that. I'm just showing you two clips and giving you my commentary on them. The second clip is of a young mother and her very young infant who they get kicked off of a plane. We've seen flight attendants become basically mini the German man with a little moustache since the Rona and Coof situation started last year. Now, the mother gets kicked off of the plane with the infant because the infant has asthma, and they can't just have a face covering the nose and the mouth on an infant that is having asthma problems. Think about it. I'm sure you know why. This is what I'm saying. We need the nuance and the common sense to return. It's okay to ask questions. Really it is. So let's get into this video. If you haven't yet though, please like the video if you find it informative. Subscribe to the Hoggcast, hit the notification bell and share this video around. We are the underdogs. We are conservative commentators, and as such we don't get the traffic or the volume that the bigger content creators get. We also have a membership scheme now. I now have 3 members. Thank you very much to those 3. You know who you are. You are lovely, amazing people. And if there's anything I can do for you, just say, let me know what it is, and then it's yours. If it's in my power to do it for you, it's yours, because you humble me that you have become paying members of the Hoggcast. I never thought anyone would, so thank you very much. Anyway, let's go. Okay, first clip.
Today in Iowa,
yeah,
we can do mask mandates now. Local control has been restored. And the judge references 2 affidavits written by Iowa school board members in the federal court case that was filed from the ACLU. And guess who one of the board members is?
Is it you?
Go bad bitch, go bad bitch, go bad bitch, go! So did you hear about the federal court rule?
Just unbelievable, isn't it? Just unbelievable. Look at her, look. Gyrating because she has that control. She has the control to slap a muzzle on you. Slap. There it is. Put it on or you're out of the classroom. Now, I'm not arguing for or against the effectiveness of face coverings. I have my opinion on it. I'm sure you do. She certainly does. What I'm doing is, and I'm not giving anyone medical advice either, I'm the furthest thing from a doctor you could get. But I have eyes, I have ears, I like to think I'm a reasonably intelligent person, and like all conservatives, I have the gift of foresight, pattern recognition, and a long memory. Okay? I can see through her. Well, I'm sure you can as well, okay? If wearing face coverings, especially slapping them on in students in classrooms, if that was such a solemn and all-important thing to do to save lives, you wouldn't be that happy about it. Do you understand what I mean? I know you're probably thinking, yeah, well, they'd be happy to save lives. Everyone is, but you wouldn't be gleeful about slapping something on someone. It's like, let me give you an analogy. If you had to take a serious, let's say you were the Prime Minister or the President or a Mayor of a city, and you had to take a drastic nay, draconian measure to protect the people, and you genuinely thought you were protecting the people, you wouldn't be beaming from ear to ear, gleeful that you can do this. You would be saying to the people with a straight face, look, I'm sorry. I know it's been over a year. I know things have gone back and forth. I know we said 14 days to slow the spread. I know you guys want to get back to normal. You want your civil liberties back. I'm sorry. We feel this is what we have to do. That's the way you would say it. You wouldn't be literally dancing. And you see what makes her dance is how she got to be a board member. Okay, the power to do it. That's what seems to be the driving force behind this. We'll watch again, think about what I said, and then we'll move on to the next clip.
Did you hear about the federal court ruling today in Iowa?
No.
We can do mask mandates now. Local control has been restored. And the judge references 2 affidavits written by Iowa school board members in the federal court case that was filed from the ACLU. And guess who one of the board members is?
Is it you?
Go bad bitch, go bad bitch, go bad bitch.
You notice, okay, so she's all for mask, face covering mandates. All for them, great. You notice the one person who doesn't have one on? Think about it. There's one person in all of this who's all for these mandates who doesn't have one on. It's always the way, isn't it? Anyway, let's move on to the next clip. So next we have air flight attendants and this draconian control that they seem to enjoy. So this is a young mother, and that infant there, which you can see does have a face covering, but the infant has asthma problems. Okay, it's not unreasonable when you see a parent, a doting, loving mother, removing it to help their own child breathe. If you have an issue with that, you need to look in the mirror. So this is the quote. You can read it down there because she set this up. So a message came over the intercom which said, "I'm sorry for the delay, but we're dealing with a quote non-compliant traveller. That infant suffering with asthma is a non-compliant traveller." This is what happens when you don't allow questions. This is what happens when you don't allow people to question an order and then find a compromise, a middle ground. This is what happens when you employ absolute ideologues. Once upon a time, in fact through most of history, all the way up until extremely recently, people had common sense. People understood that even in situations like this, there would be where you are, which is, let's say it's over here on the left, and let's say where the flight attendant is, which is all the way over here on the right, okay? And I don't mean politically, I just mean for the analogy's sake. You would then find a middle ground. You would say, well, look, the infant has asthma. She's playing up. She's finding it hard to breathe. We're sitting alone. We're not harming anyone, right? And then the flight attendant back in the day, when people had common sense, would process what the mother told him, see it made sense, and leave them alone. But we've gone past that now. We are in the age of, if the flight attendant tells you to do X, you need to do X, or your infant daughter will be thrown straight off the plane. You know, and it's just, you can't even talk to anyone. The police will be waiting for you. It's just too much, isn't it? Nobody stops and thinks. I often think to myself, do these flight attendants and the teachers, do they ever listen to themselves? Do they have a sense of perspective? Are they able to reflect on their own actions? You see, this is why I hate Twitter. I really do hate Twitter, because I blame, personally, and it's just my opinion, I blame Twitter for the dehumaning of entire societies. People have become like it was forewarned about in 1984. Just zombies attached to their screens. Little screens. That was wrote just after the Second World War, I believe. Yet, George Orwell was so forward-thinking. He could see, and bearing in mind he was a socialist himself, he was so forward-thinking. He was able to see where things would go if they were allowed just to run rampant. Okay, and that's what's happened. It's just been allowed to run rampant. And I really do blame Twitter. I blame Twitter for the dehumanization, for the polarization of Western society, the tribalization. I really do. If I was a flight attendant, I would most likely rather resign than have to say that to the parent. Or I'd say someone else. I would say to one of the other flight attendants, you tell them, because I'm not. And if I get fired for that, I'll get fired too. But I'm not saying that. I wouldn't do that. It bothers me. It bothers me a lot. Because they don't stop and just think. They don't just stop and think, do they? It's just, you need to do this, and there's no talking about it. It's just, I told you to do this. But where did you get that power from? Because you're a flight attendant? People have lives. People need to get from A to B. Who are you as a flight attendant to gate crash people's lives and just wreck them? Where do you get this power from? Anyway, I'm just ranting now. Just bothers me that there's no humanity left. There's no common sense left. It bothers me a lot, and I feel I need to speak about it. And it's like you're not even allowed to do that anymore. You're not allowed to question anything anymore. Comply or else. Look, I'll leave it there. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't yet, please like the video if you found it informative. Subscribe to the Hoggcast, hit the notification bell, and share this video around. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.